Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am very, very happy with these set of seminars, workshops, webinars that we're going to be holding. We Italians would like to thank you and really give back what we have received from you all from the other markets over these past years. We have always appreciated the help received from France, then Pepe from Spain, and recently Tony and Sherry that have helped us with translation, and Liliana, Jen, and Jeff as well. This is an opportunity for us to thank you all and make available for the whole of Europe what we think we can do well. I'm not the one doing things well, but it is Valentina Toniolo, an executive director who joined Usana in March and is already an executive gold director. She's amongst the top sellers in Europe. We shall see the result at the end of the year. There is a struggle for the result at the end of the year. So let me call her Valentina Toniolo to take the microphone. Thank you very much, Rafa, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you that I'm really somewhat excited for this Zoom call, and I'm really honored to be here and to talk about the topic I'm about to discuss. My name is Valentina Toniolo. I am an executive gold director, and I've been working with Usana since the end of March. But I celebrated yesterday my 5 years as a networker, working in network marketing. I'm really happy because my life has been special and particular. And let me tell you something about this. I have lost 24 kilograms. And I'm really happy today on this topic of managing healthy weight. I was a sports person for several years. I was an athlete, artistic roller skates, 2 European championships and 1 world championship. But following an accident, I gained weight. And at a certain point, I started thinking about myself seriously. And the best way to inspire is to give an example. I want to highlight this because this has been my history, my story. What I think is important, however, is to become reliable and trustworthy towards the people who follow us. People trust us when, first of all, they understand that we improved something before them and that we have done something. We must lead by example, in other words. Let me start here this evening from something which I believe is extremely important. Use the product. I mean, I use all our range of products, all our supplements. Now, using the product and following the program and giving the example is key. We have to be our first loyal and satisfied customer. And this is absolutely important for anyone who will follow us. Let me give you an example. I would never, ever buy anything from anyone who hasn't tried what they're selling. So the best way to become reliable is to put your face and start doing what you are suggesting. And therefore, having people understand exactly what the benefits that you have achieved are and showing them the results that you have achieved. There seems to be a problem with the Spanish translation. The audio is not going through.
Es que se te corta bastante, nos están diciendo por la línea, perdona. Bueno, ahora sí, ahora se escucha muy bien. Vale, gracias. Bueno,
All right, it seems that the
continuamos.
the
Escucha.
glitch has been fixed, so we're about to resume.
Ok, vai pure avanti, Raffa, grazie. Quindi io ho fatto una piccola premessa perché è fondamentale ovviamente mettersi alla
I
faccia e fare
mentioned
comunicazione
what
con
I
i
said
clienti
because it's
in termini
important
di
to really
informazione, ma
uh,
andiamo più nel
act by
dettaglio
example.
e nello specifico a capire
Let's now
cosa
go
attrae le
into
persone,
greater
quali
detail to
sono le
understand
persone che vi
what
scelgono.
is the reason why people
E
choose to
definirli attraverso uno schema
observe
dove
you
metto tutti i
and
dati
why they
davvero
choose
legati a
to
te. Allora,
rely on
innanzitutto devi
you.
avere
The
clienti
best way
fidelizzabili, quindi
to
questi che
have
continuino
loyal
ad
customers,
affidarsi a te,
loyal
è
clients,
ovviamente diventare
loyal
autorevole,
followers, is to
riparando la
become
credibilità
reliable, as
dei
I was saying earlier.
benefici che
Speaking of
la
the
persona
benefits that
intende
you have
proporre sia a te
achieved
che di quelli dei tuoi clienti.
and
Ma
those which
questa è
have
una
been
costante.
achieved by
Quindi
your
una
clients. And
cosa
you
che
must
è
do this on an
fondamentale nel
ongoing basis.
costruire
So,
quella
what is key
credibilità
in
è
our
la
business
costanza. Quindi
is
farlo ogni
being
giorno, parlare
consistent.
dei
You
tuoi
need to do this
benefici,
every day.
dei tuoi
Speak,
clienti ogni
talk about
giorno,
your
non qualche
benefits and your
volta, ma ogni
clients'
giorno.
benefits
Questo fa che
every
cosa?
single
Io
day,
quando
not
spiego quella che è
now
la
and
mia
then, but
attività,
every
parlo
day.
sempre come
When
se
I
fossi
talk
un
about my
negozio.
activity, I
Quindi io
speak
decido
as if I
di
were a shop.
aprire i miei
So if I
social
decide to open
quando
my
apro il
social
mio
networks
negozio, un giorno sì, un giorno
every
no,
other
le
day,
persone che mi vedono
people who follow
passano
me
davanti al mio negozio il
will
giorno che è
come to my
chiuso,
shop
andranno
when
dall'altra
it's
parte,
closed
fanno
and they will
esperienza.
go and
Quindi
purchase from
quello che è
someone
fondamentale
else.
per
So,
diventare
what
veramente
is
efficaci
important
è
to
intanto
become reliable
ripeterti ogni
is, first
giorno
of all, to be
e ogni
present
giorno
on a daily
parlarti del
basis
prodotto
and
preferito.
every day
Noi
talk
siamo
about
molto
something that
fortunati perché abbiamo
makes you
un'interesse
feel
che va
good.
veramente dai
We are
0 agli
really
8, quindi dai
lucky.
4 anni,
I mean,
dai più piccoli
uh,
agli 80 anni,
I
abbiamo
have
dei clienti
clients that
per tutti.
range from
E quindi è
four-year-olds to
importantissimo parlarne ogni
80-year-olds.
giorno per dire
So
che siamo
it's important to talk
veramente
about our products
tutte le
every day
cose.
and tell them that we can cover
Non lo
all
so,
the range
ad
of needs
esempio,
that they
ti
have.
faccio un esempio anche il mio team, non so se avete mai fatto
I
caso
don't know
quando
if you ever
arrivati ad
experienced
acquistare una cosa,
that
non che vi serva
when you buy
realmente,
something, you
ecco,
sometimes buy things
ma
not because you
perché
really need them,
continuamente magari
but
guardi su pubblicità.
because you are
Questo
being
significa che noi
advertised
abbiamo una cosa
that
che
product. Well, we
serve,
have
tratta
something
bene le persone,
which
ma
makes people
questa
feel
è
good, which
importante
is
averla
something
presente
precious,
ogni giorno.
but we
Vai
need to
pure,
be
Raffa.
present on a daily basis because a good product is not enough.
Allora, voglio andare un pochino più nello specifico di
Let me
cosa
now go
voglio
into
fare, perché questa è una
something more
premessa un
specific.
pochino grande,
This was a
ma
general outlook.
fondamentale
In
io
other
ogni
words,
giorno devo
how do I
parlarne sui
talk
miei social.
about my
Allora,
program
io ho messo dei
on my
punti,
social
posso sintettizzare un
networks?
po' quello che
I've
faccio, ma è
I have some
fondamentale
bullet
tutti i
points
giorni
here,
intanto far
but
capire
what
e far
is
vedere che
important
io
is
per
to
prima
have
sono
people
qui
understand that
e
I
io
am
per prima
my first
utilizzo i
client
prodotti.
and I
Quindi io ogni
use
mattina
and
faccio
consume
vedere
those
la mia
products. So
piattaforma, faccio una
every
spiegazione, magari metto un
morning I
video, magari metto una
post a
foto,
video or
ma
a picture of
io
how I
ho
have
deciso di
breakfast and I
utilizzare quel
explain
prodotto, il
why
prodotto che ho
I decided
messo
to use that
e
product.
vi faccio una piccola
And
parentesi, ovviamente noi lavorando sui social cerchiamo
working
di
with
essere
social
notevoli, questa è
media,
una foto di una mia
we have to
colazione,
be attractive. For instance, this
ovviamente
is
cerco di rendere un
my
pochino in maniera
breakfast,
instagrammabile e
and
attrattiva, perché
I
io
try
sono
to
una che
make
le
it
ricevole le
an
storie,
attractive
quindi
picture
facciamo questo.
that is easy to
Quando
post
io
and
vado a
effective
parlare
on
nelle
Instagram.
mie storie mi
When I
soffermo
talk about my
soprattutto su quelle cose
stories,
e alla fine vi spiego
I'm going to
anche
focus
perché
on
le mie storie
stories
sono
and I'll tell you
fondamentali
why
su Facebook,
storytelling
soprattutto
is
WhatsApp.
important on
Il modo in
Facebook,
cui io ne parlo è
Instagram,
sicuramente
and
ispirato a
on
una logica
WhatsApp
molto
status.
semplice
I
che
follow a
è
very simple
questa.
rationale when
Parto dal mio
speaking of
punto
my
di
program.
dolore, ho messo tra
I
virgolette,
start
quindi come
from
mi
my
sentivo prima
pain
di
point. In
utilizzare
other words,
quel
how I
prodotto.
felt
Quindi ogni
before
giorno
I
magari
started
scelgo un
using
prodotto, due prodotti
supplements. So
per
I choose
parlare del
one, two
modo in
products a
cui
day, a
me ne
kit,
vado.
and I
Quindi
tell
vediamo
them
bene.
how I
Poi
felt
parlo
before
della
I started
soluzione
using the
provata,
products.
quindi
Then
magari
I
il
mention
prodotto,
the
i
solution,
benefici che ho
the product,
scelto
the kit
e
that
poi
I
alla
chose,
fine
and then at the
mostro
end
o
I
racconto il
show
mio
and
risultato,
tell the
il mio
story
beneficio,
of
racconto
my
come mi sento
benefits,
dopo aver
my
utilizzato il
results,
prodotto.
how I feel after
Chiaramente
having
possono
taken
esserci
the
anche dei
products.
benefici più
There can
immediati,
be
quindi io sento già, adesso io vedo che sto
benefits
facendo
that
parte
come
della
immediately.
conferenza, quindi posso già parlare
So
dei
I say
benefici,
I can talk about
precisando
my
ovviamente che sono
benefits as
benefici
soon as I
miei, che
begin to
non
feel them.
sono
I
non
mention that they
tutti
are
ovviamente
my
ottengono la
benefits.
stessa cosa.
I highlight that they might not be true for everybody, but I basically show them also alongside this my results at the end of the 28 days. Another thing that I talk about in my stories, I speak of my pain point. I mention my kit, the products I use on a daily basis. I show them results, and I also tell them the stories of my clients who are satisfied customers when they use Usana supplements alongside uh, a healthy diet and healthy exercise, a healthy lifestyle in general. Well, my satisfied clients have results, and I ask them what the results are, how they are, and to enhance and mention and enhance my benefits, I speak of my clients' benefits and I show them their results. Of course, I ask my clients for permission. I'm talking about their benefits, and so I need their authorization. I always ask for authorization.
Cerchiamo di non farci sparare dagli interpreti e magari un po' lenti.
Allora, ricapitolando, che cosa facciamo
So,
nelle
what
nostre
do we
storie?
do on a daily
Come detto
basis
prima,
with our
Instagram,
stories?
Facebook o social
Instagram,
WhatsApp.
Facebook, and
Degli
WhatsApp
esempi
status.
più
We
pratici
provide
delle
examples,
storie, ad esempio,
practical
aiutano
examples,
le
for instance.
persone, quindi
For
racconti
instance,
le
I
tue
help
cose,
people,
perché
I tell them a story,
sicuramente di più, e
putting your
ascoltate
face
attento a quello che dico.
before
Raccontano
everything else
per
is very
cercare di dare
useful.
alle persone
I tell them a
anche
story and I
dove
have them
prendere
reason on
l'integrazione.
why they
Sui
should
social vediamo
choose
tantissimi
Usana.
integratori
There are
che
so
dicono
many
qualche
supplements
giorno io ho scoperto
advertised on social media, and I tell them why I chose Usana,
quindi
how
spesso
amazing the products are,
che
and I
dovrebbero
help
scegliere il
them
mio
reason on
per
why they
effetti
should
stagionali
choose my
perché
supplements rather
dovrebbero
than someone
iniziare
else's,
il mio
why
programma invece
they
che
should
quello.
start my program and follow
Parlo di
my program
fatti e mostro
rather than
risultati.
others. So I speak of
Questa
facts and
trasformazione
show
comincia
results.
seguendo il programma Usana, quindi
This was,
allenamento
for instance,
stress-out
my
o
transformation
integrazione.
following the
Io ho
Usana
perso
program.
circa 7
I
kg.
lost 7 kilograms.
Quindi ovviamente racconto del
So I
mio
tell them
programma
my
e della mia
story about my
trasformazione.
program,
Dico quali
about
sono i
my
risultati.
change, my
Aspetta che i
transformation,
traduttori si stanno
how
suicidando.
Sì.
how I felt
Vai.
Parlo di
and the
come prima mi
results
sentivo,
achieved. I tell them how I
faccio
used to
vedere
feel before the
ovviamente
program,
la mia
and I also show
trasformazione.
them my
Ognuno
testimonial.
di noi si convince
Each and every
acquistando
one of us
qualcosa
is
quando
convinced to buy
capisce che
when
effettivamente può dare
they
un beneficio,
understand that
può
there is a
dare un
benefit to
risultato,
be taken,
può
when there are
essere
results to
una
be achieved,
soluzione al loro
that
problema.
this may be a solution to their
Quindi
problem. That's when people
quotidianamente io
buy.
devo far
So
capire
on
alle
a daily
persone
basis, I
che ho un
must have
prodotto di
people understand that I
qualità
have
altissima
a
e
very high
Usana,
quality product and I have
un'alimentazione sana che
a
vale la
healthy
pena e che li
diet,
farà
a healthy
star meglio.
program that works and that
Vai.
will make them feel better.
Mi sono soffermata, come vi dicevo, un po' più sui contenuti
I
per quanto
focus
riguarda
on
gli stories
contents with
sui
regard
vari
to the
reti,
stories I tell.
Instagram o
Stories
Facebook
on
oppure lo
Instagram,
stato
Facebook,
WhatsApp
or
sono
on
molto
the
veloci,
WhatsApp
2-24 ore.
status are very
Quindi
quick.
i
They
contenuti delle
only last for
storie saranno
24 hours.
sicuramente
So the
gestiti in
stories
maniera
contents
diversa
will be
rispetto
different,
al
will be
resto dei
managed
contenuti.
differently compared to the other
Qua ho
contents that I
messo
publish
una
on my
foto
profile.
di
For instance,
una
this is
foto che
a
ho
picture
postato sui miei
of
profili e
myself that I
ovviamente
posted on
i
my
miei contenuti
profiles.
del profilo, a differenza delle
And of
stories
course,
che in
unlike
24 ore
the
si
stories
sfumano,
that
rimangono lì.
disappear after
In questo
24
modo
hours,
sicuramente
this kind of picture
qualcuno
remains on
osserva
my
quando li
social
vado
media. So I have to pay
e
attention to this
rimangono
when I
fissi sul
create
mio
contents
profilo.
that will remain on my
Devo
social media.
cercare di creare
I
contenuti di
must
valore,
absolutely try and create
nitide,
uh,
nitidi,
clear
di buona
pictures
qualità,
quality videos, quality pictures, because unlike the stories that last only 24 hours, that are used just to attract clients, to just capture their attention, to show them what I do and my benefits. The profile images and pictures are important to generate curiosity. Once they've seen my picture, once they've read my post, they go to the stories and then come back to my profiles. I have to make them understand exactly what I do in life.
Allora, io chiudo questa presentazione parlandovi di una cosa
I now want
molto
to
importante,
draw some
soprattutto
conclusions,
nei profili
speaking of something
social
which
media,
is, I think, very
che
important.
è
I mention this
l'importanza di
every
essere
day
corretti.
on my social
Ora,
profiles.
alle
The importance
persone,
of being precise,
le persone che ci seguono,
reliable,
che
and
decidono
correct.
di
The
diventare
people
i
that
nostri
follow us, the
clienti
people that decide to become our
grazie a
clients,
noi,
the people that
di iniziare il programma
decide
con
to
noi,
trust us
a quelle
to
persone non
uh,
interessa che io
follow our
semplico
program,
ogni
these
giorno
people
sulle
are
mie
not
storie
interested in
fare
the
la
fact that
lista degli
I
ingredienti di
make a
un
list
valore magari
of the ingredients of a
importante.
supplement. They're not
Per
interested in
quello
that.
abbiamo il materiale ufficiale.
We have the official
Alle
material for
persone
that. So
interessa capire
people,
che
what people
quell'integratore
want to know
piuttosto che un
is
altro,
to
che
understand that
il
that
nostro
supplement,
programma può dare i risultati
rather than
sperati,
another one,
può
can
dare dei
give them
benefici.
the results and the benefits they're looking
Una
for.
cosa di cui io veramente io sono molto attenta per quanto riguarda quello è
Something
ovviamente
that I'm very
verificare che
careful about
ogni testimonianza è a
is
sé,
that
quindi
each
non andare
testimonial
a
is
immettere, tra
in
virgolette,
its
o
own a
raccontare alle
single
persone che ci
testimonial.
seguono che
So we should never tell
ovviamente
people that
avranno quel risultato che
they
io
will have
ottengo.
that result
Ognuna
that I am
fonte
showing, because
dipende
we're all
da chi
individuals. It's
segue
very subjective.
effettivamente
It depends on whether people
una
really follow
politica di come
a
si
healthy
comporta
lifestyle, a
e
program.
capita anche
It
queste
depends
volte
on
di
whether they
utilizzare l'integrazione
remember to
e la
use
gente si
the
dimentica.
supplements, because
Io
sometimes people
preciso sempre
don't
che si
are not
tratta di un
consistent.
risultato
So I
personale
always
e
mention
corretto. Questo
as a
soprattutto è
disclaimer
fondamentale,
that
sia sul
this
profilo,
is my
sulle
experience.
storie
It's
e
not
sia quando si
something
tratta
that
di
can be
parlare con le persone.
universalized. And this
Un'altra
is
cosa
something that should be
a cui
mentioned in
faccio
all our
veramente molta
posts.
attenzione è
Something
nei
which is
casi
just as important
particolari
is
e
that
specifici,
in
situazioni
specific
particolari,
cases and
abbiamo il
situations,
materiale ufficiale,
we have the
abbiamo
official
l'immagine,
material,
abbiamo le
the
etichette dei prodotti
descriptions, we
e
have the
in casi
labels
di
of the products.
situazioni
And of course, if
particolari
there are special
assolutamente
needs and
indicare il
conditions,
nostro
they
medico.
must
Quindi questo è
obviously address these
fondamentale
needs
perché
to
non
their
siamo medici,
physicians,
possiamo
because
consigliare
we are
queste
not
cose,
physicians. We
possiamo
can
essere
provide
orientati
advice,
verso
we
altri
can provide
principi che vanno
quality
meglio,
advice,
però in
suggest
situazioni
benefits,
particolari
things that
assolutamente
are
importante
worth it,
rimandare al
but
proprio medico.
absolutely refer to their physician if there is any special case or anything
Ok,
really related to medical issues.
Ok,
Okay,
grazie
Rafa.
Valentina.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
Abbiamo
Valentina.
organizzato questi webinar
These webinars
con una
have been
spiegazione
conceived
molto concisa e rapida
with these
dell'integrazione
very brief
e
presentations. Thank you,
dedicare più
Valentina.
tempo alle
But
domande
we would like to devote
e
more
alle
time to
risposte
the
e è una
questions and
fase
answers.
in cui
Uh,
stiamo
so the
apprendendo
Q&A is
a
important
lavorare
because this is a
senza
webinar
che cosa
to
vi
learn
ripeto.
and to
Ma
learn
Valentina, come dicevo,
practically.
e mi è arrivata una
So let
domanda
me
dal
start,
pubblico,
Valentina, because I received a
è
question.
cosa mettere e
Can you
tonolio
please
nelle
repeat
storie
what
e
to
cosa
include in the
mettere e cosa
stories
non
you post
mettere nelle
and what you
storie?
don't
È una domanda che mi è arrivata
use?
mentre
This is the question is for both stories and
Allora, per
posts.
quanto riguarda le storie,
As
io mi
for
focalizzo di
the
più
stories, I
sul
focus
magari
on
far vedere proprio il prodotto,
showing the
come ad
products.
esempio qui,
This is an
far
example,
vedere che
for instance.
utilizzo io
I
il
show that I
prodotto e
use that
parlo nelle
product,
storie
and in my
tutti i giorni
stories
dei
every
benefici che
day
quel
I
prodotto mi dà.
talk about
Quindi
the benefits I get
partecipo
from that
per il
product.
prodotto.
So I actually show
Nei
them the
post
product. When
sì,
it comes to
parlo del
posts, Yes, I can show them the product, but I have to put my face up front. So my profile is managed differently when it comes to posts compared to stories. In the stories, I can provide a brief description of the product. In the post, I present, I don't present just the pictures because that's not what attracts people because it's just like a brochure, and that is inappropriate for posts because it's not attractive, doesn't attract attention.
Sono uscite le domande tutte insieme, fermi. Allora, la prima domanda, Valentina, è di
There's
Miriam.
another question from Miriam, Valentina,
Le congratulazioni dalla
who
Spagna.
congratulates you. She's from Spain,
Se con
and the
questo
question
programma
is,
tu stai soltanto
with
concentrata
this
sulla vendita al
program,
cliente
are you
oppure
just
anche
focusing on selling to
grazie al
clients and
programma
customers,
tutti quei
or
giorni tu riesci
thanks
anche a
to this
lavorare la costruzione
28-day program,
della rete?
do you build your team as well, your team of distributors? I have clients that have had wonderful results with the program and have decided to join my team. Yes. So the answer is yes.
Maria, sempre dalla Spagna, ti
So
chiede
Maria again from Spain.
cosa fai
The
tutti
question
i
is,
giorni
what do you
per
do on a daily
seguire i
basis
clienti. Questo
to
anche
follow
sarà
your
magari parte
clients?
delle prossime webinar, però
This is going to be the
facciamolo
subject
già
that we
adesso
might
perché
discuss
ce ne
in
sono
future
tantissime.
webinars, but
Domanda
let's
molto
answer this
precisa,
question
Maria.
right away. Thank you for the question, Maria.
Come fai il follow
So,
up
Valentina,
dei
how do you
clienti?
do
Se
the
crei
follow-up
gruppi
with clients?
WhatsApp
Do you
o
create WhatsApp
Facebook
groups or Facebook
per
groups
condividere testimonianze,
to
suggerimenti
share testimonials
come
and
funziona il
suggestions?
follow up?
How do you approach the follow-up? Generally, once a week, I ask them how the program is going, how they feel. Once a week, I follow up with that question. And I try to pamper my clients usually. So during the weekend, for instance, I do this all the time, either Saturday or on Sunday. I send them a recipe, for instance, which may contain Nutri-Meal, for instance. I try to make them loyal by pampering them in this way. I don't use group WhatsApp chats. I don't. I use broadcast lists instead. So people receive a
Valentina,
message
siccome
as
alcune
if it
persone
were
magari possono
directed to
venire nella
them.
mia situazione non a
Valentina,
conoscenza della
there
differenza,
could
vogliamo dire la
be people
differenza tra i
such
gruppi
as
WhatsApp e queste broadcast?
myself and don't understand the difference between these two things you're mentioning. In the WhatsApp groups, I bring together a group of people and they realize that they are part of a group because they realize that there are other people in the group. The broadcast list means that I can create a list of members, people. I can have up to 256 contacts, but when I send a message to that broadcast list, my contacts receive the message as if it were directed exclusively to them. They see a message coming from Valentina, but just for them. They're
Quindi non
not part of a
interagiscono
group,
tra di loro.
so they don't interact among themselves. Absolutely, yes. They just get
Allora,
a single message.
Miriam e Maria adesso io le invito a diventare i distributrici italiane, vi aspettiamo nel nostro programma
Miriam
Erasmus.
is asking a
Molto
question.
divertente.
Miriam,
Allora,
we
ti
invite her
chiedo,
to join the
in 30
Italian team.
giorni,
She asks, in the
concisi,
20-day
focalizzati su che
program,
cosa?
what is
Focalizzarsi su un
what is it
prodotto
made up
o sui
of?
prodotti
Is it
o
focused on a
focalizzarsi
product,
anche su
on a
un'alimentazione
set of
corretta?
products, or
Che cosa
on a healthy
consiste questo
diet? In
programma?
other words,
Nuovamente
what
ne
is
parleremo nella
your
prossima webinar,
28
però
program about?
partiamo intanto
We're
da
going to
questo
discuss this
insegnamento.
in the other webinars that will follow, but can you tell us now? Well, There is a healthy lifestyle at the basis, a healthy diet, therefore. So it's a program based on a healthy diet and on physical exercise. When I talk with our prospects, I try to understand what their goal is, what their physical activity is, what they want to improve, and I propose them the products, the supplements, based on their goal that has to be combined with a complete program, which is a healthy lifestyle, a healthy diet, and physical exercise. Thank you, Valentina. Jennifer is asking to enroll your clients and your distributors. Do you share the link with them or do you do it directly? It depends, is the answer. I do a bit of both. Let me give you an example. My link for the direct purchase of a product can be included in one of my stories. They can click on it. So if I explain the product well, I don't suggest that you just have a picture of the product and the link. They wouldn't understand much. I explain the product, I tell them about the benefits, and then in that case, and only in that case, I include the link and they can directly click on it and purchase the product. Or else I talk about it in the chat and then I send them the link on the chat. So something that I just learned, very interesting, is that if we want to share a link to purchase the product, never, ever, never match it with the picture. Valentina says that people won't buy. Rather, associate the link with your story. That is more effective. Elsa asks, for the 28-day program, do you use a different Facebook profile compared to your usual Facebook profile? No, my personal profile is my professional profile since I've been doing this. I tell you why. I don't suggest that you have two profiles because this is very important. It's important to put your face up front. People choose and people are attracted by people, by who you are, especially on social media, when people are really curious and they want to know other people and see other aspects of their lives. It is important to present yourself and state who you are, because what they're choosing is you, is me. If they see my story and Rafa's story, they will choose one or the other. Rafa says they will choose Valentina if they have the option between me and you. Anyway, so I don't suggest at all that you have two profiles, one profile only. Ingrid from France asks, do you use WhatsApp as well? Do you use WhatsApp as for stories as well? Yes, I do. I use the same approach, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and also status in WhatsApp. That's what it's called. And I post the same stories. So Livio is now going to translate the question into Romanian.
¿Qué significa broadcast list?
The question is, what is a broadcast list? Please explain again what a broadcast list is. Rosetta is asking the question again. You find the function on WhatsApp. You can create lists. And you can have a maximum of 256 people on a broadcast list. Once you've created the list, I go into the list, which is similar to a chat. I send a message. That message will be sent to all the 256 people, but they will see it as a single chat between myself and each and every one of them. They are not part of a group. They cannot communicate among themselves in the broadcast list. Ana Garcia asks from Spain, what kind of diet do you suggest? You're not a nutritionist, and none of us are nutritionists. But of course, nutrition is important. So what kind of nutrition do you suggest? I send the program, the 28-day program that Christina created, which means a healthy diet, normal, no major restrictions, so a healthy lifestyle. For those who don't know Christina, we have a healthy diet set of guidelines. This is material that you can find in the media center. And there is a nutritionist for Italy called Christina who has provided details which are appropriate for the Italian culinary culture. But in the Usana Media Center, you can find the guidelines in other languages as well, without Christina's suggestions. So from France, we have another question. How do you show and explain the products? For example, do you show one a week explaining the benefits, or do you explain what you use that product for and then repeat it week after the other, 1 week after the other? In other words, do you devote 1 week to one product at a time, or do you repeat that every other week? People really make fun of me for this, but I'm really very well organized. I create my weekly program or monthly program, deciding beforehand what the topics will be for my stories. I decide them at the beginning of the month, and every day I talk about a certain kit or a certain set of products based on which are the most popular, which are the most sold, or those that are suggested from feedback I get from my clients. So every day I choose usually 2 products, 2 kits, and talk about those, explaining the benefits for the products and the benefits of the products, and I enhance the power of the product with feedback and results and benefits. Thank you. Anna asks, speaking of nutrition, she is asking for suggestions on sport. Maybe next time we're going to show you our health platform. We have developed a platform. It is in 3 languages. On this platform, it's a health platform, and it showcases products and also recipes. And there are also video lessons for physical exercise, 30-minute exercise, stretching exercises, Pilates exercises, posture exercises, and toning exercises. We have these available on this platform.
Congratulazioni Valentina. Allora, come crei?
Question from Coach. Congratulations, Valentina.
Molto giusto. Thanks for your question, coach. Allora, la domanda è,
Thank you for this
ok,
question. The question
tu dai
is,
un link, ma poi
all
come
right,
li agganci?
you
Cioè,
present them a
come fai
link.
poi a cominciare
How
una
do you
conversazione
then
con loro?
start a
Che
conversation with them?
ti clicca, ti
For those
tocca,
that
ti
click on
serve
the
da
link,
te,
for
e
those
poi
who
convertirli in
buy,
clienti.
or how do you convert them into clients
Allora, in
when they
realtà
join your
sì.
story? Well, as a matter of fact,
Prima
it's the other way
inizio
around.
a
First of all,
parlare con le
I start
persone
by
sui social,
talking with
quindi
people,
interagire,
interacting with
non
them
per
on
quanto riguarda il
social
lavoro,
networks, but
ma
not with
parlo con le
regard to
persone,
my job.
non lo
I
so,
talk
io
with
sono un'ex
people.
patinatrice,
I, for
mi
instance,
vedo
am
tra i miei
formerly I was
collaboratori
a
una
skater.
patinatrice e vado ad interagire
If
con
I
lei,
see
parlo
that there is a
e
person
di
that
meno.
goes on roller skates, I talk
Sicuramente
with that
quella
person
persona
about
verrà a
that.
vedere il mio profilo.
That person will
Se
certainly come
io
to view
però
my profile.
ho un profilo attrattivo
If
e
my
parlo
profile is
bene nelle mie
attractive
storie
and I
raccontando
speak
i
well about
benefici dei prodotti che abbiamo,
stories, my
tanti
stories
sono
are
quelli
interesting, and
che
I
vengono a
talk
chiedermi
well
info sui
about the products,
prodotti,
you can be sure that they're
perché
going to ask
abbiamo
me
un
more
tipo di
questions about the
prevenzione
products
che fa star bene chiunque.
because we have
Quindi
supplements that
ecco
are
il
really
contrario.
excellent.
Prima parlo con
So
le
it's the other way
persone
around. I
che si
talk with
avvicinano a
people,
me
for starters, and
e
then
poi le faccio incuriosire per quanto riguarda i
I
prodotti.
attract them in that way, and
Allora,
then
una delle cose che
I
faremo nelle prossime, perché sono nelle idee, è anche come
make them
voi
curious,
cercate
and
le persone,
then
no?
and only then I
Le
talk about the
prossime speaker
products.
faranno anche questo, come voi cercate le persone nei
We're going to have
social.
other
Allora, Sara
speakers in this
ti
series that will
chiede
tell you how
se
to
hai
um,
un profilo business di WhatsApp.
capture
Sì,
clients. Do you have a WhatsApp
Bisogna avere il profilo business per fare
a
queste cose.
business profile?
no,
Ma è vero?
It's
le
not
chat, ad
It's not necessary.
esempio, si fanno anche su WhatsApp. Io le facevo anche su WhatsApp normale.
No, you don't need a business account,
Ma
WhatsApp
magari una domanda
business
sia, quale
account.
vantaggio a fare il profilo
Is there
business?
an advantage in having a business
Allora, ci sono
profile?
delle funzioni in più
Yes, because there are
a
extra
livello
functions.
lavorativo,
So
sapete meglio.
work-wise, it
Quindi il
is
consiglio mio
better.
è
My
scaricatelo
my
e
advice is
scoppiate
to
perché ci sono alcune cose che
download
sono
the
molto
app
utili per noi.
and then
Allora,
make a
Possono essere, ad
comparison. There
esempio,
are
dei
some
link
functions that can be
nei nostri
useful.
profili, si possono inserire dei
We can
cataloghi,
put
si possono
links for our
inserire delle
profiles, for
informazioni sui
catalogs,
prodotti,
extra information on the products
può
can be added
sicuramente essere utile.
in the case of a business account.
allora Miriam chiede, è la seconda che parteciperà all'Erasmus insieme a Carla. Qual è la tua
Miriam
raccomandazione? Cosa
asks
suggerisci
what you
per i
suggest
nuovi incaricati,
for the
le
new
persone
distributors
a cui
that
devi
start
guadagnare la fiducia? Perché quelli
and
sono
you have to
all'inizio,
gain
non
their
sanno niente del
trust. They're
business,
at the beginning, they don't
non
know how
sanno
to
niente
run the
dei nostri
business,
prodotti e
they
sono
don't know our
iniziati.
products, and they
Qual è il
need
tuo
to trust you.
consiglio
How do you
per
approach
stabilire questo rapporto di
a
fiducia?
prospect for
Non
um,
fare promesse
a
inutili,
distributor?
perché
I
il
never make
business
useless
non è vero
promises.
che tutti arrivano.
It's not true that
Date
in
assoluta
this
importanza
business
all'impegno
everybody can be
ed
successful.
essere disponibili.
Highlight
Io
that
nel mio
commitment
team
is
mi dice che
important,
io faccio anche
engagement is
turno di
important,
notte.
and be available
Questo
for them.
per me è
People in my
fondamentale.
team say that I work all the time and I'm always available for them.
Ragazzi, case alla guida si può trovare, adesso te lo indicherà Livio, nel media center c'è la guida all'alimentazione
Yes,
sana
if
per
you go to
tutti.
the media center, this is an answer to a
Jennifer, anche
question,
te ti inviteremo
you
nel
will
media
find
center.
the
Io sto
guidelines.
scherzando perché mi fa tanto piacere vedervi, quindi sono sorridente questa sera. Allora, per le persone che non hanno Instagram e non sono forti nei social media, ed eccomi,
For people that don't use social media and for people that don't have an
che
Instagram
suggerisci di fare
account,
per
what do you
aumentare la nostra
suggest we
audience? Cioè, noi
do
ci abbiamo
to
un Instagram,
increase
però
our
non lo
audience?
utilizziamo.
Let's
Quali
imagine that
sono
we
i
have an
primi
Instagram
passi che tu ci
account, but we are not
suggerisci
using it.
per
What are the
aumentare
first
le
suggestions
persone
you
che ti
have
seguono e
to
quanto
help
tempo ci hai
people
messo
start?
tu
And how
per
long did it
costruire
take
un
you
profilo di
to
successo?
build your successful
Allora,
profile?
prima vi ho detto
I mentioned earlier that I'm now celebrating my 5th year. I mean, before 5 years ago, I was very shy and I didn't communicate with anybody. I realized that this was a great opportunity. So I suggest that you do what I did. I followed my sponsor. I suggest that you follow your upline, your mentor, the person who brought you into the business. Model them. Now, another question. You became a gold executive director in just a few months, less than 5 months. So the question is, how much time do you devote to network marketing? When I started this business, I started bringing results. Although I had another job. I was in the office, out of the house 12 hours a day. So I don't think it's a question of time. It's a question rather of quality time that you devote to this activity. And the main thing to better use the time we have, even if it's just 2 hours a day, the best thing to do is be organized. What do you mean by being organized? I plan everything I want to do for the week and for the month, and I plan it ahead of time. Why? Because if I have 2 hours available, I must know how to best use those 2 hours, using time effectively. Isha is very happy to attend, and she asks, what did you do the first month that you joined Usana, besides just trying the products? What did you do to acquire your first clients? And Valentina, the reference is to new people, not people that you knew beforehand. What did you do? What I mentioned earlier. I used to use the products and I would tell my prospects how I felt. I think the thing that makes you trustworthy is really show your face and I'll tell you about my program and how it's going. I think every day telling about your benefits every day is the key. How do we approach people that are not so aware of the importance of physical activities and a healthy diet? How can we approach people that are not sensitive and aware of these things being important? I mentioned this earlier. We have supplements for everybody. What is important is to have people understand the importance of supplementation, of being well and living a healthy lifestyle. If I talk to people that are not used to using supplements, I am certain that they will become my clients because I explain to them how important it is to take supplements every day and have quality supplements. And having quality supplements makes the difference. A question from France. In your Facebook page, do you put the link to the products that you use? Because this person, anonymous, tried doing this in his stories, but he can't do that. How can you put the link in the story? Practically, how do you put the link practically? Yes, on Instagram, when you make a story on the top bar, there is a button for the link. So the link I send to my clients for purchasing, I do the same thing for any other link as well.
principalmente con il prodotto
How do
o
you
con
approach
l'opportunità del
people
business?
with the
Col prodotto.
product
Io
or
col prodotto.
with the business opportunity? With the product
All'inizio,
is the
proprio
answer.
all'inizio del tuo
At the beginning,
esperienza
at
in questa
the very
industria,
beginning of your experience in this industry, you began talking to people that you already knew, people that were part of your network, either family members or friends, or
Scusate, perché nel frattempo il cane ha abbaiato e mi sono distratta. Hablaste direttamente con las personas que conocías cambiare all'inizio o solo empezaste el primer momento di pensare? Nacho, can you translate me?
Rafael is asking Nacho to translate the question because the question is in Spanish.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, there is, you don't see the answer the question. So, hablaste directamente con las personas que conocías y familiares al inicio o solo empezaste el primer momento de pensar en Usana en las redes?
Oh, okay, she's asking
So,
if,
so the
at
question is,
beginning you
at the
just
beginning,
started doing the
did
business
you
for your
started
relatives, or
doing
you
business
just
for your family
you began
members,
just with business mindset?
or did you
Ok,
start with a
quindi
business
tu
mindset?
all'inizio, se tu vai un po' indietro con la memoria, a quando hai cominciato, hai già subito
So at the very
avuto
beginning,
l'idea imprenditoriale del business di andare fuori,
did you
oppure cominciavi
present
invece
it as a
come
business, or
presidente della
did
del
you
gruppo di
just
familia?
talk
No,
to
no,
your
avevo
friends and
capito
family
che
members?
questa opportunità era
No,
grande.
I
Per
understood that this was a
appunto
very important
TikTok
opportunity I
ho
had, so I
iniziato a parlare
started
con tutti.
using social network
Ok,
and
grazie.
I
So
began
che molte
talking about
domande sono
these prospects
strettamente
with
relative
everyone.
al programma dei 28 giorni,
I know
ma
that several of
subito
these questions are
giusto
not specific
farle
um,
perché nello
for the
spazio in
28-day
cui
program, but I
si discute
accepted the
possono
questions because
confrontarsi le
this is a
persone e
space
parlare, non sono
in
tanti
which
questi
we can
momenti,
all
il prossimo
share
sarà la
these topics. This
convention
is an
di Pisa,
opportunity
dove
to
ci
share
incontriamo
information.
perché sono gli
We're
ultimi
going to have
sono
another
due biglietti
webinar
di
before our
invitazione
Nice
e appunto
convention,
i confronti
and
tra
you're all
i
invited to
distributori sono
attend
molto importanti,
because
giusto?
sharing among
Allora,
distributors is very important. And then Jocelyn, we have
ok,
Jocelyn.
quando lei propone il programma di 28 giorni,
When
una delle
you
obiezioni che
propose
vengono
the
fatte
28-day
sono
program,
costa tanto.
often the
Come si
objections that she
contrasta
gets
questo? Come
is,
si
but it's
risponde?
too
Come si
expensive. So
gestisce
how can you
questo
manage
tipo di
the
obiezioni quando
objection
si propone
that
un
this
programma di
program
28
is
giorni?
too expensive?
Io chiedo prima che valore ha per
I
loro
ask
quel
them a
cambiamento.
question to start with.
Quindi cerco di capire, faccio la
The
domanda del
change they want to
programma
make,
in
how much
generale per
is it
tutto il
worth? So before I
quanto è
start
importante
it
per
all,
te questo
I ask this
cambiamento
question. How important is this
e alla
change
fine,
that you
se
want?
dovesse,
How
ma non
important is
arriva
it for you?
mai, a me non arriva più, dovesse
And
arrivare
then
l'obiezione,
I never get
gli
this objection.
ricordo che
Should
all'inizio
this
della chat mi ha
objection
detto quanto è
be
importante.
raised, I remind them what they
Ok,
answered at that first
molto
question
bene.
before I presented the program.
Come ancora, Valentina, come si può aumentare il numero delle persone
Valentina,
che
how
ci
can we
seguono?
increase the number of
Ripetilo perché
people that
probabilmente è un concetto
follow us?
nuovo per tante
You've
persone.
said this, but can you please
Creare
repeat it?
contenuti di valore,
Create
quindi
value
come dicevo
contents,
prima, foto, video,
pictures,
reel,
videos,
nitidi,
reels,
attrattivi, ok? E andando a parlare con le persone, quindi
videos and pictures,
interazioni.
value content, and then talking to
Ok,
people,
ok,
interacting with
adesso non so
people.
domande. François, ciao François, sono contenta di vederti. Allora, molto interessante questa domanda. Allora,
This is a question from
programma di 28
Françoise.
giorni è un
The 28-day
aggancio
program
per avere
is a
arrivare
hook,
al
if
cliente
we like,
nuovo, no?
to bring
Come fai in modo
people
che questo poi rimanga un cliente per
into
sempre?
using the
Che
products to
continui a
start with.
pagare anche una volta
How can
utilizzate
we make
il
sure
nuovo il
that
beneficio?
these people continue then
Allora,
using the
io
supplements after
credo
they
che
finish
se
the
una
28-day
persona
program?
trova dei
I think
benefici
that if
in
people
un
find
prodotto,
benefits
ha voglia di
in
continuare.
a product, they will continue to use
Dall'altra
it.
parte, tanto
On the other
vale,
hand,
lo dicevamo prima, il follow up,
it is
il
important to follow
coccolare
up
il cliente
and to pamper
e
pamper
funziona
the
che un mese
clients,
dopo
because if you
magari non
pamper them,
utilizza gli stessi prodotti,
they might
ma
not
ne
use
compra
the
da
same
altri.
products, they will try some other products.
Quindi per me queste due cose.
So
Quindi
it's
quando sta
those
per
two things, I
finire
think.
nella pratica, no? Quando sta
So
per
practically,
finire
when
un
the
programma a 28
28-day
giorni e la persona
program is about to
sente
come
i
to an end
benefici, qual
and
è
the
la mossa da
person
fare?
begins to feel
Io
the results, what is your
segno
move?
ogni settimana i nuovi clienti che faccio.
I
Io ho
mark
segnato due
my new
ragazze che
clients
partono
on a
e
weekly
sul file
basis.
mi
I have a special
appunto,
file for
mi
this.
viene da sorridere perché mi prendono in giro. Ma questo è importantissimo perché io so
This is
esattamente
important
quando
because
quel cliente
I know
finirà i
exactly
28 giorni
when that client
e
will
la settimana
finish the
prima
28-day
inizio a
program,
guardare le
and
interazioni.
the
Si
week
fanno di più.
before it ends, I interact more.
Allora,
I
Isha
call
ti
them, I talk with them
ringrazia e dice che
more frequently.
soltanto da un mese
Isha
che sta
thanks you, and she
cominciando
says
questa
that she
attività,
started
vuole i
this
tuoi
business
consigli e
only a month
soprattutto
ago,
chiede,
and she asks for your advice.
l'ultimo mese
And
ovviamente
above
stiamo
all,
iniziando,
she
quindi non avevi
asks
tutta
you
l'esperienza, ma nel tuo
what
primo mese
you
di
did
attività,
on your
cosa
first
sei,
month.
sei riuscito a conseguire nel tuo primo mese di
What were the
attività in
results
questa industria?
after your first month in this
Per il
industry,
primo
even when
mese
it
ho
wasn't for
cercato di
Usana?
imparare il più possibile,
I tried to
quindi
learn as much as
seguire
possible
i
in
passi
the
che avevo
first
già
month. I
fatto
followed the
e
steps of my
studiare,
sponsor. I
informarmi,
studied.
cercare di capire meglio questa
I went to
attività,
training programs.
cercare
I
di capire anche
studied
come
about the
pormi sui
business.
social in
And
modo da
also,
far
I
capire a
studied
me.
how to present
Io
myself
ancora
through
oggi,
social
quando
media.
posto una storia, mi
Today,
chiedo
when
se
I
la
post a
guarderei
story,
a
I
me
always ask myself,
conveniente?
would I like it?
Elimino.
Would I watch it?
Sì,
And if the
allora
answer
sì,
is no,
perché
I
comunque è
uh,
importante
erase
quello che
it.
si fa,
Why?
attrarre
Because
persone
it's
simili a noi,
important to attract people
soprattutto
that
per
are
quanto riguarda
similar
il
to us,
business.
especially with
Poi
regard to the business
lavoriamo
side,
tutti insieme,
because you're
lavoriamo
going to have to
tanto
work
ogni
with the
giorno,
distributors that become
ma
part
le
of your
persone
team,
ci
and you
seguono
work with
quando
them
si
on a
ritrovano
daily
con
basis.
noi.
But people choose
Quindi
us
consiglio,
when they
studia,
when they
informati, sii
feel that
costante
we are
ed
likable and
allertati.
that we are like
Questo è un
what they
gran bel
want
lavoro
to be like.
e raccontati il più possibile.
And so that is the advice on top
Grazie
of
mille.
have fun
Scusa,
and
ancora una
enjoy the
domanda.
process.
Per
Another question
spiegare i
from
benefici di un
France.
prodotto,
To explain the benefits of a
dovremmo noi
product,
stesso,
we
nel senso,
should,
provare il programma di
says
28
Joseph,
giorni.
we should
E
try the
se non,
28-day
come possiamo
program.
spiegare questi
Otherwise,
benefici?
how can we explain the benefits?
Si
Valentina,
può lanciare
Io,
un programma senza
can you
averlo
launch a
fatto?
program if
io
you
ho
haven't followed
iniziato
it yourself?
dicendo
I
usa il
started,
prodotto e segui il programma.
the first thing is to
Quello
use the
è
products and
fondamentale
follow the program.
perché
That's
ti
key. I said it
attira
at the very
e
beginning
anche oltre uno
because
schermo arriva se noi non stiamo utilizzando il
they get the
prodotto,
message even
non
through a
siamo abbastanza
screen
efficaci.
on a
Quindi,
smartphone.
alla domanda di
You're
Giuseppe,
effective if you use the products, if you do the program, because they feel it through this
se non
screen.
lo utilizziamo?
Possiamo spiegarli, ma non
Can we
siamo
explain
efficaci.
it if we don't
Sarà
use them? We
difficilissimo
can explain them,
fidelizzare
but
le
we won't be
persone a
effective
farci
in
seguire.
doing so. It will be more difficult to acquire
Allora,
uh,
intanto
loyal
il
customers or
blocco di
loyal
registrazione.
distributors if you don't
Recording stopped.
Ringrazio
do
intanto
things
gli
as an
interpreti che
example.
sono dei santi,
All right, we've
perché
drawn to a
tutti sono anche più
conclusion.
veloci di te.
Raffaella
Quindi
is
grazie sempre tantissimo, lo vedo
thanking the
con grande
interpreters
disponibilità.
thank back.
Grazie.
Thank you very
Ringrazio
much.
il Dream Team,
I,
Sales Team di Europeo, che
I'd like to thank
sono
our
un grande
European dream
soddisfata
team,
di far
sales
parte di
dream
questo
team.
team.
I'm really
Ringrazio
proud
tutti
of
voi che
being
avete
part of this
partecipato a
team.
questa
I'd like to
pagina,
thank
è stata
you all
meravigliosa.
for attending
Spero
this
tanto che sia stata utile,
webinar.
sia stata di
This was
interesse
a
e
launch
soprattutto
webinar. I
ringrazio
hope
tutti
it's been
Silvana
interesting. And
per essere
above all, I'd
uscita
like
dalla
to
tua
thank
zona di
Valentina
comfort,
for having
perché voi vedete
come out
Valentina
of her
nelle
comfort
sue
zone.
vedete è tutta
You
rossa,
see, Valentina is
appartenenza. Lei
all
quando
blush
parla di
when
altro è
I speak of
tranquilla.
her.
Quando si parla di
She is
lei
easygoing when she
diventa tutta
speaks
rossa. Quindi
herself,
Valentina questa sera
but
ha
she
fatto
blushes
grande
when
magia
someone
e vi
talks
ringrazio di
about her.
essere stati con me a
So
farlo insieme
thank
a lei.
you,
Ecco, è
Valentina.
uscita dalla sua
and she has really left her comfort zone. And she did something this evening which is very important. And so let me congratulate Valentina for this. Thank you very much. So we're going to reconvene on the 21st of December, at 9 p.m. for Italy, Germany, France, and Spain also at 9 p.m., 8 p.m. for the UK, and 10 p.m. for Romania. So thank you all, and we'll meet you again on the 21st of December. Bye-bye, everybody.